This somewhat bulbous creature may epitomize what we're seeing, in that she may be working at washing clothes. Yes, she is, in her basin. So it was here in the old days that women gathered to wash clothes, because it's a thermal area and hot water flowed through here. Apparently that's one reason why this has not been dramatized more, or at least protected better, is because the thermal activity somehow impinges on that effort. Doesn't sound logical to me, but look at the face. Is that a tranquility, or is that a way of thinking about something else while you do the drudgery that's been allotted to you in life? At one time there was a stream flowing through here, and I'm just guessing, and the water was routed through this area here where women did their clothing. Now, whether this grating existed at the time or was designed to keep people from falling into it, as a young man suggested, I don't know. But you can see areas like that over there where it's curved, where a woman might have sat and relaxed for some reason. Whether this was enclosed in any way at all, and that these represented foundations, there's just no way to know. It's too bad. Solid wall down here, so it looks like this might have been more of a pool, but that implies over there some sort of river, and there are more features up here, and maybe this is an interpretive site. So this is the springs as apparently existed in 1901 and how it exists today. I don't know how to distinguish between those two time periods, and the map doesn't easily tell us. There's quite an extensive interpretive literature on the walls here, but I think it also deals with other places that are hot springs. Whether this was simply for washing or whether this site was for also hot springs for bathing, I'm not clear. I'm focused on the washing, laundry washing idea. Apparently there were 4 washing buildings nearby, like this one right here. What they did was they would, using buckets and ropes, or at least buckets, they would capture water, hot water from the springs, and then carry them into the wash house where they actually did their laundry. These devices they're using apparently are called the wash cudgel, the oldest laundry utensil known in Iceland, in use from the 19th century down to the 20th century until washboards came into use. It was thought that such washboards damaged clothing, so they were only used for rough clothing. Cudgel meaning they slapped the clothes with those, like some women, some countries use rocks, I believe. In the old days, women would carry their laundry on their back 3 kilometers. Occasionally, the wealthier people would use their wagons. More often than not, they would have their hired people carry it so they wouldn't tire their horses. Some parts of the world, women still carried this burden. Days of tourism, this is one of the most popular sites in Reykjavik, and wealthy people, who are tourists by definition, would be sharing the same water in the same places with the common folk of Reykjavik who were doing their clothes. Finally, at the end of the 19th century, and by the 1930s, there were 2 lamps that lighted the springs. So I assume what this woman is doing is reaching down through the grating to pull up a bucket of hot water that she then can carry up into the wash house. It was not unheard of that women were seriously injured or died in the process of using the springs, either in walking to the springs or back. One woman drowned, another woman fell into the water and died from burns. Another woman died with a child inside of her. It's hard to get a picture without the light reflection. You can see steam rising from this trough, if you will. Presumably this was just created as either a runoff for water that came from below ground, or maybe it was stream. It's not clear. Wonder what was sitting up in that raised area. May represent some earlier structure. Notice the pipe, so perhaps water was pumped up into this. Maybe this is the site of the wash house up here. It may well be reasonable to assume that this platform of stone was the foundation for one of the wash houses. Certainly its proximity would suggest that. Some curious sculpture outside of this building, reminiscent of a horse, its head to the upper right, but with a hand, curiously. Who knows what the hole and the other cylindrical thing is for. Certainly the theme has something to do with music. Interesting building. This is a museum of modern art. Older farm implements. You wonder if they could have been just abandoned here as pretty yard art when this building was built. This area has several collections of what look like different sizes and kinds of mushrooms dotting this grassy area for some reason. Park art reminiscent of the Southwest.